Why is it so grainy? Oh, there we go. That's better. Oh, I just got to tilt a bit. Why did I change my zoom again, these bastards? Yeah, well, I think quit screwing with me. This might work. Damn you. I have that all set up, too. And they had to screw my zoom up. You know what? You people are just pissing me off. All right. So I guess I'll just go back in that program and fix that. So why does that not relate? Well, that changed it. Let's see, is that too tight? Oh, what's wait? Okay, so there to there. Let's go up a bit. Stop moving! Oh shit! All right, so from there to there, yeah, that's pretty much the workspace. Gives you just about everything I'm doing. There we go. A little one person. So yeah, just getting started here. Anyway, got the differentials all together, ready to go. Just go over that real quick. Had a broken bolt, had to extract out of this thing. That's why the case is now orange, along with some other stuff. Diffs are all shimmed up pretty good. Got very, very well. That one's got a little extra play, but it's also got out around gear and it needs to be replaced. We don't have it right now, but this will last for a while anyway. This one is about perfect. These were assembled and shimmed before lubrication to make sure they were right when they were done, and you didn't get lube all over trying to redo them. Anyway, running a Molly lube on these things right now. Certain lube I'm trying, it's actually CV axle grease. Seems to be pretty good. Front diff is 500,000 weight. Rear diff is 200,000 weight. Center diff is million plus earplug, silicone earplug. So you can buy it Walgreens or CVS or whatever pharmacy type places are nearby your residence. So there we go. Now, also all the bearings have been replaced with reclaims of mine that I refurbish. Nothing too special in this right now, just the EXB parts. Aluminum top plate from some other company on the front here. That contrast is kind of funny. That thing's now orange from freaking getting it hot. I got it real hot getting the crap off it. Let's see. I was going to start with the motor, but realizing now we got a problem here because this fan to be mounted on the chassis straight is going to be sticking straight outside. It needs to be straight up and down. So this motor has to be reclocked to put the wires on the side and the fan on top. I don't know who installed that like that, but I'll take care of it. Anyway, so let's see. Our front end is where that busted ass bolt is. So I think that's where I'm going to put that setup on first. Of course, I don't have the steering rods in yet, but that's fine. Yeah, that's right. One of these controllers was mangled as shit. That one. Whoo! Inside that hole. That's not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to be a hole, not an oval. Right, so that's got to be changed out. Unfortunately, all I have is a black one for him, so he's going to have to deal with it. And find that hole in there where the damn thing is. Must be the wrong size wrench. Oh, I gotta find set screws for that thing too. Alright, so yeah. Just needed to get all the crap out of it. So anyway, ball joints away. This looks like the right side, so we're good there. And no, I don't run those little caps on the end of your control arms. I've never had a control arm split there, to tell you the truth. So, I mean, I've had them pull out, rip the threads clean out, but I've never had them split that. Even when they did pull the threads out. What in the crap? There is some shit in here. We need to blow all that out and go through it. But we'll get to that once we get it assembled. Because after I get these assembled, I've got something pretty awesome I want to do. A long, long trip down memory lane with some cars that I'm fixing for a friend of mine. So, all right, new control arm. There we go. Don't forget, when changing your control arms, always make sure you get your group stops. If you have them, transfer it over. Yes, Nick. We're live. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had your calls.
There's nobody watching anyway, so.
Just wondering what you thought of this.
Thought what? It's a car. It's a white car. It's a Civic.
I mean, those look good. If I can give the guy.
What's that giant fucking hole right there? They cut a giant hole in the firewall?
No, that's the bracket for the.
Okay. I'm just making sure, man.
No, I zoomed in. It's the bracket for the.
So you're still going to need upper support, lower support, freaking, unless we make custom shit. That's going to take a bit.
One thing I need is the front. I would need the front support on it.
Yeah, the upper and the lower.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're also going to need the. We're going to need a bumper on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the crash bumper.
Yeah. Yeah, we can make all that, but like I said, the hard part's going to be getting the bumper to fit on without all the little bumper bracket thingies.
Mm. I mean, it's a thought.
Hey, I'm not saying it's not. It's just, you come in and show me like 3 pictures of a car and expect me to give you an idea. Yeah, I have no fucking clue.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see it, bro. My crystal ball's in the shop. I can't just look at the pictures of a car and go, oh, it's a good car, go buy it. No, it's not how it works. Well, that's what you're asking me to do, Nick. That's exactly what you're asking me to do. So, all right. Well, yeah, that pin's bent. Shit. That one's bent. Looks like, oh, yeah, good bent. Do we have any straight pins? Straight pins in the house? Anybody straight pins? No, right. So we need to do, excuse me. Oh boy, we are out of hinge pins, aren't we? No, it's all right.
Well, it's already set up for manual shift.
Nick,
What?
Does that matter?
No.
Then why even consider it?
That's what to do. If I did.
So how much is it?
If I give the guy, I have a laptop that I put together in like $150 and he'll come deliver.
Okay. What's the laptop worth?
$200. Yeah, it wants $300 for it.
All right. Well, yeah, go for it, man. But just know, all that niggly piddly, little crap that isn't super important to make the car run, that's all going to be on you. Door panels and carpets and all that stupid stuff.
Well, yeah, I know.
I don't have time to rebuild a whole damn car,
No, I know that.
Okay, I'm just making sure you don't expect me to do the whole thing. I mean, I'll do all the stuff you can't do, of course. But I'm sure every time I turn around, you're going to be like, oh, by the way, I want to change this.
No.
Oh, yes, you will, buddy. Babe, is she going to do that?
Not getting involved.
Yep, exactly. See, if the answer was no, she would have said no. So, all right, man, no problem. Fire it up, dude.
I'll see what I can do.
Hey, man, it doesn't look bad.
I mean, I figured
It's $300. You're not going to get a shell for a 99 2000 Civic for cheaper. Am I right? Well, whoever that was bailed out anyway. So.
I mean, I'd rather put a new front radiator support on it anyhow.
Well,
knowing it's good.
Okay. You understand? I'm giving you an idea for a custom one, not a factory one, right? The factory one means I got to weld sheet metal. That's a totally different ballgame.
Oh, you got it welded to the rails?
Yeah, it's part of the chassis, dude. Right.
Well, I don't want a big project.
Nick,
that's going to be a big
you
project.
cannot avoid a big project. You already have one. Okay?
Why don't you not do this on camera?
There's nobody there anyway.
Right, but it's still recording people to come back.
All right. Well, look, you're already at a big project, dude. It's just I'm letting you know that I'm not doing every single damn niddly piddly thing. I'm going to do what I need to do, which is all of the heavy mechanical, chassis, wiring, engine, etc. But I ain't screwing no interior shit because I ain't gonna have time.
I know that.
Well, I hope you remember it. See you later, Nick. All right. Well, that must be this bit with all the rest of them. Be with socket head. Right. Okay. So somehow she got mixed up to these fucking monkeys coming in here. Yeah, that's what that is. Okay. Hello, person. So armor crate success. Differentials are done. Putting the bulkheads together with control arms. Getting ready to bolt them onto the chassis. Need to reclock the fan on the motor, or reclock the motor, whatever you want to call it, and then starting setup work with droop settings and stuff like that before we get all the rest of the components on, so it's easier to work with. Which I'll be going over in detail. If you notice the bulkhead here is orange, that's the amount of heat we had to put in it to get a screw out that was over Loctited. Yeah, sometimes you can use a soldering iron, sometimes you need something a lot heavier. This is a customer car who happens to like the setup I have on my truck, so it's going to get something very similar. As close as I can get it without having the exact same parts I have on my truck, which some are slightly different. Not really performance-wise, but they're just different parts, different suspension angles and whatnot. Like, for instance, I make my own custom C and D blocks, the 2 blocks on the back. I do use these factory parts, but I weld these holes closed and I move them to where you could move them if you were running, say, TRL tuned adjustable block. In fact, this is the way I would run an adjustable block, would be all the way down and all the way out on the rear, because that's going to give you the least amount of rear toe. Or wait, no, on the rear it'd be, in the back it'd be in, I think. Yeah, anyway, and I add as much, well, I take away all but half a degree of rear toe, and I add as much anti-squat as possible, which is, I think, 3 degrees. I think, don't quote me on that. Right, so let's just get all our pins in and get that done. Not a big fan of these blocks with the set screws at all. Prefer the ones with the screw in, and you can't get the aluminum ones to screw in. That is not the right pin for that, nummy. In fact, we don't even have the right pins for that because we're running the ones that are supposed to be on the screw in. Somebody makes one that's on eBay all the time. They're like, I don't know, $8 a piece for that upper B block. Really cheap. Come on, line that up. And, all right, and get out of the way. These are actually RPM first gen. They don't even make these anymore. All right, we're gonna need some new set screws. So these set screwed in. Yeah, these aren't M&Ms, so I don't think that. Good place to keep your hardware, though. Yeah, we got these little tiny guys that'll work pretty good in there. Nope, that's one or two. No biggie. So there's that, and as usual, with anything metal to metal, you do want to go Loctite. Blue or red, it's up to you. Essentially, what I usually do is I try blue on something. If it comes loose again, I go to red. But red's a slippery slope. A dash too much, which is like, half a drop or whatever, is going to make it so you need a soldering iron. And if you double that amount, then you're going to need a torch, which RC cars aren't really friendly with because they're not really big enough to take a full-size torch to. I mean, not like an oxyacetylene, but a MAP gas torch, if you know what I mean, with a little yellow canister. All right, so front end essentially ready to install. Definitely something binding on that side, so we'll have to look at that. Of course, the posts need to go on first. And the set screw for the shock lower mount, still stuck in there. Come on. Yeah, I like to set these up with set screws because it's a much cleaner install. No, we're using the outside on this one. Okay, there it goes. Wasn't sure if there was one in there or not. All right, so let's put the back end together. We got our C block on here. And if you don't know how that works, that's going the chassis front to back. That's A, B, C, D. That's what they call these blocks in order to keep track of what you're talking about. And then the uppers in the front. I mean, the front, the upper A essentially would be your shock tower. So the upper B is the only real one you're talking about when you're talking about stuff like that. So hinge pins going on here. If I have any left that are actually straight. And it's got a good tweak on the end of it there. It's definitely going to rough it up. One's fairly bent. Not as bad as that one. We have a whole lot lying around after last week. No more in there. I don't even think I have any left in my parts. And I really don't want to leave you guys alone and go outside and have to pound something because that's boring. I don't know how you feel. Well, that'll work. Not too bad. I don't have my drill with me. Usually I polish these up with some emery cloths, but these arms are already pretty far open as far as getting beat up, so it's not going to bind. I guarantee that. Fortunately, I don't have any of my custom blocks on hand. Otherwise, I'd be putting them in. I don't really do much with the front angles, though. I don't change my kick up or anything like that. See a point. Things got plenty of kick up, and if you look at what kick up actually does to your handling, I don't need any of that. No, I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I know a lot, but not that. All right, so then yes, I like to use socket head screws wherever I can. Bigger head, less chance of strippage. We all know how fun these things get when the screws start coming apart. You know, for the amount of countersnakes I got in here, this has got to be what these are for. Yeah. If I can get them out of here without throwing shit across the room. There we go. All right. So those two. Fill that void. But if you did notice that the D block, it is the one off the Mojave. If you did notice that, this has my old rear end setup I used to use with the Mojave bumper. You'll see when it goes together. It's kind of cool, but makes maintenance kind of a bitch. But there's more secrets to it than that. Like for instance, if you notice, this rear shock tower has an extra hole drilled above the two body mount holes. That's a Logan special trick right there. I don't know why they're not in use, probably because I didn't take this car apart last time, but we'll move those up and then move the body post down. And then what that'll do is that'll clearance the rear chassis brace bulkhead screws. Yeah, screw holes filled up some shit there. Time to clean it. Screw's not happy about going all the way down. So if this starts slipping, I gotta go get my drill. That should be enough. And there we go. So that's going to be done. And front lower control arms, or rear lower control arms, sorry. So axles and upper links. Got lovely. All right. Now, we got both our rears. So rears, obviously, big bulbous end on one end. all this crap off them. And I always shim my axles, try to keep them in the middle. Usually a little bit of fuel tubing is all you really need, and a good razor blade. Razor knife, maybe. There we go. So let's get a little guy for the inside, about 1 millimeter, and maybe 2 or 3 millimeter, and about 5 or 6 for the outside. So those will end up getting squished into the holes probably. You might have a little bit of binding when you first put this together, but don't worry, that'll go away as soon as those ones on the outside squish in. So then push that little guy in the hole, and then line that up. Of course, you gotta get your link bolt on. And there is that. Get on there. Okay. So yeah, obviously that's quite a bit tight, but that will not be like that after the first run. Obviously, silicone fuel tubing is not going to outlast steel. So in our upper outside link, that's not going to be long enough. Well, nope, and almost lost that one. All right. A couple of nuts. So there's that. Oh. Hello, two people. How you doing? If you guys have any questions about anything RC related, I've been doing this for a long time, and not just cars, and not just Army electrics, gas, nitro, 12 scale, 10 scale, 8 scale, even 5th scale. Used to race 21cc tunnel hull boats. I used to fly a couple of planes, 2 and 4 stroke. Didn't do planes for very long, but know about them. And I started doing this back when the only remote you could get was an AM, not 24 gigahertz or whatever they are now. AM or FM. And they came around with PCM, pulse code modulation. Anyway, so there's that trick for shimming a rear axle. Not much after that, really, as far as the rear end goes, until we get to setup stuff. Shocks are running Lucas engine honey or oil stabilizer, whatever you want to call it, all the way around. If you look it up, that's 140 weight. And we are also running, well, this truck is not one of mine, but he's also running the same springs. So running the Century Spring 10.5 pounders that Ease Tactics was so nice to figure out a part number for a part that actually fit, because they are not an RC car place. They make springs, period. All right, so like I said, shock tower or body mount anyway. So extra hole, and you'll see why in a second. There we go. I actually told this to Avery Looper from M2C. I was wondering if it might be something he would implement, but apparently not. I mean, I don't blame him or whatever. I think he's got a kind of a different setup for it anyway. But same solution, or same fix to a common issue. Damn you! Oh God, screws! All right, as usual. I can't find it in a couple seconds. I'll just replace it because it saves time. If you've got spare screws, why not? I do the same thing at work. I work on cars for a living. Master tech, whatever. So probably going to have to drop these down one hole in order to keep the body lined up where it was. However, they're set. And I can already tell you there's not enough droop going on here in these screws. That better not be my phone dying. Let's see. We've got like 4 little guys on there. Let's put 2 big ones. You'll see how this works out in a minute. Droop is extremely important on these cars. Not only for reliability and not chucking axles out of them, but handling as well. Especially the stunt truck. I don't know what anybody else out there is driving, but we have stunt truck being the Outcast. We have Kraton being more of the speed truck. And then I've got my Mega Typhon, which is like a buggy on steroids. I mean, not really steroids per se, growth hormone. It's got a Mojave chassis and kraton arm, so it's kind of long, kind of wide. It's cool. It's fun to chuck it off of big stuff. Not parking garages, though. That's what my kraton's for. Let's see, 2 more standard washers. Come here. So fun to pick those off mats when you got broken fingernails. And nope, that's a center one. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I got lots of parts around because I haven't had time to clean stuff up lately, and our place is under construction right now. So, yeah, if you don't put those washers underneath your drip screws, no matter what kind of setup you got, unless you have aluminum arms, which I don't recommend, you will push those into the control arms at some point, no matter what. No matter what. So, gotta swap the blocks. Mixed up the A and the D block. Well, I mean, they look very similar with the Mojave setup. Oh, crap. Where to go? Yep, that one. And move that knife before I don't cut myself. Come here, you bastard. All right, there we go. So. Yeah, that part belongs up there. So, oh, wait a second. Neither of these have the damn block on them. Am I using the wrong part? Just because there's a lot of stuff going around. Probably make sure. I know I saw another D block laying out. There it is. Okay. Yeah, this is the one that's supposed to go in the back of the Mojave setup. All right. So this can go back. And let's see. There's 3 screws in the bottom of a super bumper, so that is it. Get on there. And then this guy is going to be good to go. As soon as I find all the damn screws. More fun than a barrel of pregnant goldfish. What was that, Ben?
Didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you made a noise or something. Oh, there we go. Still stuck in the old one. All right. So, see, yeah. Obviously, got the Mojave skid plate in the back, so it's got to go on when that gets bolted down. Well, actually, let me do the 2 back bolts first. All right. So, yeah, I got to clearance those damn edges, otherwise it's going to hit. This is the kind of stuff I was trying to avoid, because now I have to go outside and chop that off real quick. Just going to hit it with a whiz wheel. But there's nobody watching, so it doesn't matter. All right. My bad. You want to know how deep of a screw you can put a hole? Grab a small wrench, stick in the hole. That way you don't put in something too long that bottoms out before you're tight, which will make it loose even though it's tight, which will cause wear. So, there you go. A little extra Loctite in that one, apparently. Left over, I'm sure. He's going to have a super bash bumper over him anyway, so I don't think they're going to go anywhere. In fact, I'll put that on next. How are you two doing? So yeah, so far front and rear dips are together. Front end's going on. I gotta get my steering around what they're doing. And then, of course, once we get all the basic stuff on, we'll go over setup before we put the radio shit in, probably. And yeah, I'll just done it a little bit. That way I can work on some really cool stuff. Some of the cars I used to race 24 years ago. Yeah, I know. I'm old as crap. Hell, Jesus owes me $20 from a card game. All right. Important thing about these steering rods, no matter what you do, only Loctite them at one end. Because if you Loctite them at both and something starts spinning, you are screwed. Personally, I use the bottom. There's no one up top. So, it seems to work for me. A couple of little baby buttons, little button heads. All right, now I just saw one. God, there's crap in here. Or maybe I didn't. Shit. Okay, whatever. No, they're not over here. Alright, there's one up here. Go, and a little drop will do you. And there we go. What are you doing here, you? Okay, that thing does not want to center itself. Just picking up the first thread and going, F you. So we'll need the bolts at the top of it to hold it in place, which, like I said, a couple of small buttons. Just needed to find out where they were. So, get those in. And boy, something bent. Yeah. Yeah, looks like the nose is bent down a little bit. Not uncommon. Haven't bent one way or the other. And that's going in nicely, so now the bottom will tighten down for sure. This one is quite a bit off. So, give it some room. Get the angle. And that, apparently. Jeez, really? No, that might help. Steering rack wasn't hitting the damn differential yoke. All right, come on. This thing doesn't want to be tightened from either end. Come on, really? Go. And for the most part, bottoms. Loctite. Bang. One of those things I won't be doing tonight as far as tips and tricks go is my battery mod on these 6S's. I usually take these trays, drill these holes out to fit 3S screws, 3mm, and then open up these, the countersink in a way, but just using a countersink bit or a slightly larger drill bit. And it tends to keep them staying there because God knows they're easy to rip out if you go absolutely nuts with them like we do. Yeah. 30-foot high jumps to a skate park. If you don't land right, you're definitely going to bomb out a battery tray or two. I mean, the problem with that is you can rip cords when you do it. You really don't want to do that. External cords or possibly battery cords. Not good for the car. Yeah, I know there's supposed to be countersunk, but guess what? Countersunk screws do there. They rip right through. So don't even go there. Other things that I'm opening up to fit the 3mm screws are body mounts and countersinking the shock tower. It actually looks really cool. Did it on one of my trucks. I'll show you in a second. And the upper bumper spring. Well, upper, I mean the only one in the front. Open those up, put three mils in them. What else? That's about it, really. No, like think about it. Stock radio tray, maybe you could do that. All right, so what in the hell? Don't even tell me you're jammed up. There we go. All right, so obviously the droop setup's a little bit off. I think there's just enough room to get in there. So I need more out of this side than that side. And then I'll get it somewhat of a handle on. That's where you get the shocks on because it gets a lot trickier to do after that. So we're going to take out, let's just go with 2 regular washers. Probably needs 1, but let's just try that, see where it's at. Get on there. There we go. And let's see where our droop is. Come on, bastard. Oh, and I don't run sway bars on any of my trucks personally. Where's my wife? Yeah, that looks good. So we'll get the other one then. 2 washers out of that side. Well, actually, it should be like a little bit less. Maybe some of those thin ones. 1 of the big guys, and let's go with 2 thin guys. There we go. Oh, we'll drop those 2 and put those 2 back. We'll drop those 3 and put 2 of these back. Gotta love it. All right. There we go. That is pretty damn good. I would say so myself. What do you think? Right there, huh? All right. So droop set. Steering's attached. Nice and free on the steering too. Suspension moves freely. Can use some adjustment. I'll do that before I put the shocks on. These 2 bolts in the top of this spring, so we don't forget these. And like I said, 3 mils. There's that. And one more. Yep, good to go. Okay. All right. Crap off the floor here. It's all everywhere. Oh, right. So, yeah, I guess we do the rear end. Make sure you get the chassis braces on before you get the motor center diff in. Listen, oh, I got to trim this damn thing. That's right. Right. So, using the Mojave rear bumper on a Kraton, you run into the block that holds it. Chassis hangs off the edge there, so that's got to be trimmed up. So no big deal. We'll take a second with a whiz wheel. Just in the meantime, look at this little disaster here. So the problem is that the way this is set up is that he's got the wires straight up and down so that the fan's got to be pointing outside. I'll move the wires so they're coming outside and put the fan straight up and down. It's the right way to go. So there we go on that. Unfortunately, I can actually get to these screws without changing anything on the adjustment, except for the fact they're psychotically tight. So there's 2 things I got to do now. We're going to take a second. 1, keep those things warm. 2, trim down the other parts. So where in the hell is my... Sorry, there we go. So usual for that. heat up soldering iron. Stick it right in the top there. Find a place to put it up against. Balance it. Doesn't fall over. And just leave it on that screw for a good 5-10 minutes. And hit it. It should pop. If not, you go out with a torch and you get it that freaking hot, so it actually changes the color of the anodizing. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So, all right. We got front springs, rear springs. Yeah, as it turns out, he's already got the fluid I run in mine. So we can put the shocks back together. And they're not leaking or anything, so they're good. I think I built these last time, actually. And then they can go back on. Since we find bushings for all the tops. And right there's those. This one's done. This one's done. And next is going to be the last shock. Actually find the damn thing. Absolute disaster. Come on, really? Oh, here we go. All right. So there's the last shock top. All set, ready to rock. So let's give this thing a shot real quick. And nope, not yet. All right, buddy. We don't have to cook the shit out of this motor to do this, but that's definitely going to take a little while. So come on, we gotta get it hot. All right, well, it sucks badly. I don't want to put the chassis braces on until I got the radio stuff in. So there's that. I'm not going to separate the radio stuff because it's a pain in the ass. Gotta trim this thing, so I gotta turn the compressor on. All right. Sorry, one dude. 3-minute intermission. Okay, so got that sorted out. So I had to file that down to fit back in the chassis. So we can put some medium length screws in here. The front, it's got skid plate on it, so it's gonna go different. So, oh yeah, probably we'll dose a Loctite on these. Just a little bit. Oh yeah, I gotta try that screw out too. Let's get one of these always tightened up first. I drop this damn thing. Come here. No, it's the wrong driver. Oh, there it is. Okay. Alright. Throw that one in. And then there is that. So, good stuff. Alright. Get that. Just tighten that down. I don't want to burn my freaking leg on it. Oh, come on. Oh, Jesus. Right, okay, so I don't think it's ever coming out. Oh, right. Let's see. Well, let's take a little more time, I guess. But that sucker is really freaking tight. And of course, you get too much heat to a motor, you can damage it. The problem is, the motor's a giant freaking heat sink anyway, so getting heat into it in the first place is kind of difficult. All right, so just like the front with your droop, I actually kind of like that. That's just a little bit past horizontal, which is where it kind of should be. All right, so we got this big pain in the ass here with slightly longer screws, of course. Oh, and anytime you're using a plastic skid plate like this or something similar, I would suggest putting a fairly, not a big ass washer, but something that at least is a little bit bigger than the head of your countersunk screw that you're going to put in there. And that way, kind of reinforces it around the thing. Of course, you got to tighten it until it kind of bevels in or concaves, whatever you want to call it. Kind of like that right there. That's about how you want it. You can see that. Oop. Where did it go there? Ah, wrong way. Everything's backwards. It's hard to do. Damn it. All right. Yep. There it is. Cool. So flush just like that. Washer. Yep. Yeah, give me just a second. Have to give me another second. My wonderful wife needs me for something. Oh. I'm back. Sorry about that. You know how it goes. Wife calls, you answer. All right. Well, we can't get motor mount on until we do that. If we're going to do that, I can't really trim this thing down to making room for the wires. We'd have to get rid of a fan. How big a fans are these? How big a damn motor is that, though? You know what? Yeah, that'll work. I'll just upgrade them. If this doesn't come loose in like a minute, I'm just gonna put that one on there. You can do whatever he wants with that. I don't know why I was running that anyway. Okay, so right, wing mount screws need to go in. I usually drill holes for that. That was one of our latest switches or changes that we did to this setup. And of course, back brace, center brace. Whenever you're bolting these down, your center braces, especially the part on the chassis, always use a bolt that's way too long, like at least 5 mils sticking out. That way, if it breaks on the bottom or shears off, you still have a way to get it out. Good little trick there. So, all right, last chance, mother. Last freaking chance. Stay there. All right. You can feel the can getting hot. Oh God, yeah. Nope. All right. So, all right. Plan B. First of all, let me get this hot ass thing out of here. Oh, that sucks. Those bolts are coming out. No way. I mean, not the normal way. So let's see if we can retrofit this guy. So we've got it upward like that, so we'd have to go on and then rotate it. So look at that. So still a little hot. Toward the front, and rotate it into a normal position. It's actually going to be right up there. In fact, this heat sink actually sticks down just a little bit farther. Yeah, yes, I know this heat sink is for a smaller motor, but it works just fine. I've used it on my car. A little bit of a clearance issue there with the double-sided tape, but you know what? I think what I'm going to do is bring this back to just the back end where the can ends, due to the fact that that's the only place that motor mount's not going to be making contact, or not motor mount, but fan mount, heat sink, etc., etc. Great, now where'd the damn knife go? There it is. Stab myself again with it. Yeah, whatever the hell that is. Come on. All right, so that should just be right where I wanted it. Just on this back part here, because this is actually going to make contact with the chassis as we bolt it down. All right, so how do we get the center together? Great. Moving right along. So let's just get a little bit. Actually, I think I'm going to continue on with this dip process due to the fact that some of the screws that we had to drill were in the middle of the chassis. So we don't want to go through that again. Rather have one or two come loose than have to drill three. That's just makes life easier. All right, so motor mount centerpiece. There we go. So fairly obvious. We got the pieces. Right. Yeah. There we go. All right. We're down. The hell is that noise? You're hearing this like weird, sucky, slurpy noise, like the dog is doing something terrible. Oh, there's one of those button heads I was looking for earlier. Are we running out of? Yeah, looks like we are. That's too damn long. Yeah. And stuff keeps sticking to that. Good thing I got a bin full of them. All right, so. Now these screws on the motor mount and the bearing brace for the center diff, I would not tighten down right away. Because I've had them where you tighten them down and then you try to put the top on and it doesn't exactly fit. Which is kind of a pain in the ass, to say the least. Okay, so more than that. Well, I'll show you what I mean in a second. But if you put too much pressure on these bearings, you can actually feel them rotate like they're rough, like you can feel the balls as they move across the race. And that means that your bearing's being tweaked. It's being pressured in a unnormal manner. and it's supposed to deal with a load. So, all right, so we got that. Now we can take our center drive shafts, and I like to shim these guys too. So we've got nothing in these things, not even the differential. So we need 4 more from our piece of fuel line, which screw feet and then track shoes, because I no longer see it. So we'll use this line for, I think it's a jet fuel line or something. It's a little stiffer. It's good for shock spacers and interior shock spacers if you want to limit your travel. I just lost one of them. Come on. This is not fun. Oh, there's that damn piece of fuel line. Okay. So do 2 and 2. Yeah, these are all about, I don't know, 2-3 mil. What the hell? All right, well, screw it. So I'm going to go with the light stuff on the outside, and I'll put some heavy stuff on the inside. Yeah, it just kind of keeps the drive shafts from cocking to one end under torque. Because under torque, they're going to go in one direction or the other, just because the force is being implemented on them. But you don't have to have them jink all the way to one side. Try to keep everything in line for better torque transfer. So that's why we kind of do this. All right, so I get the long one in there. Kind of difficult to keep these little guys in the holes the whole time they're working. And center diff in the hole, so to speak. Stay. And then this guy's got to go in the front. If I can find it. So where's that front hole? And then our front drive shaft. And there we go. All right, so now we got all those in. And if there is a little bit of binding, either throw them down or just wait until they wear, because they will. So, get this guy down. It's going to be, should be 4 short caps. And we have 1. I don't know how this got so mixed up, except for the fact that I've had to move everything to like twice. And there's 2, there's 3. And uno más, por favor. Oh, too long. Come on. There we go. There's 4. Okay, so. Come here. All right. So, as I said, getting this all torqued down before you get to the bottoms. Get these all started. Nice and smooth and even. That's too long. When you're sticking that thing in there, you won't ever get it out. All right, and I'm going to find another one. Freaking seriously? What a bastard. Nope, got one. Okay. So, there we go. So there's number 4. Get these all good and snuggy wuggy. Don't have to do a crisscross pattern, but being an automotive tech, it's just kind of something I do naturally. So, there we go. Now we got all 4 of those in. And then we go back to the bottom. Now we tighten these up. Therefore, I don't have any binding on the system if you tighten these up first, because with these countersunks, they can actually move a little bit. You can wedge stuff somewhat. And, every once in a while, just make sure that they're turning good. Which right now, well, we got the motor on too, so not going to really turn easy, but for having a motor, it's not bad. But if you tighten everything down and it doesn't move, obviously, just go back and Check it. That's interesting. Cap just popped out. All right. That's funny. A little pattern with the stainless screws, and I didn't even think about it. I don't even like using those things. These ones, anyway. These particular screws, I don't know what brand or whatever, but they're cheap and they strip. Not the threads, the heads. But that's what we got. That's what we got at the moment. So gear mesh is that seems hair tight actually. Yeah, it is. You want to have the smallest available movement in the gear mesh without binding, but you do have to have a little bit of free play. Now, where the hell is that 3 mil? Really? Here we go. So, not again. Really? Oh, that one moved. Well, I might have a T handle for that. T handle already. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Did that just? Nope, it works. Okay. So put a little movement in the motor. Still not enough. Maybe wedge it a little bit out. There we go. And just a tiny bit of play, just like that. Perfect motor mesh. Always check it in multiple places though, because sometimes gears will be a little out of round, but that one's perfect. All right, that's done. We got our fan. Yeah, dual fan, whatever. This is an ESC fan, so I know it's going to work just fine. And yes, that is an ESC cover. I just kind of cut it up, made some with it. Now you can spin these by hand without tires on me. They're doing pretty good. So, right, center drivetrain's up. Our droop is looking pretty squared up, so we might be okay there. Hopefully we are. Looks about perfect. Radio stuff, I guess. Oh, right, braces, which, right, we didn't want to do until we got the radio in because we wanted that to be underneath that axle, which it is not. So we'll just pull this out real quick. But it's already been used to align the bottom. So, at least we know we're good there. All right, come here. Wow, that is not happy. But that's why it's got a really good snug fit. And there we go. Out you come. All right, hard to do without disturbing everything. So there's that. Just move that around so it's actually kind of proper. That guy's going to go up top instead. So now we can put the axle back in. All right, and yep, good and good and come on. Don't be a bitch. Wow. Damn, dude, this thing is like being a whore. Like big time. Oh, okay. What's your problem, dude? Seriously? All right. Yeah, sometimes they're just that damn hard. I mean, seriously, I don't mind those. All right, so there we go with that. Another awesome tight fit. Now, I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of this particular mount we've got here, but That M2C success monster mount that they've got is really, really awesome. I know my wife's got one. And there's something I want to, but at the moment, nah. Seriously, dude? This thing is just like, does not want to go together. I just had it in there. Brody, what are you barking at, dude? Fuck. Okay. Yeah, it must have like bent or something as it went in. I really hate doing this, but thank you. Snug is snug, that's for sure. All right. Get out of here. All right. Doesn't look straight. Because it's not. Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah, so usually when you got something like that, that's either chassis got a little tweak in it or motor's being tweaked a little from the tape or the heat sink or the chassis bent back that way and it's pushing the motor mount together or something like that. So, we got all the right parts. It's good. I mean, I don't think this thing has the wrong parts. It just has some that don't fit with others. Let's put it that way. Okay. So, sometimes you just got to go back and loosen the bottom to get it to work. Okay. Well, so nobody's been on this one, I guess. All right, so apparently that didn't move much. All right, get in the hole. Are you serious right now? Wow, I think it's way off. Okay, so all right, well, something definitely tweaked, but that's why we do that setup the way we did it the first time. Unfortunately, I just had to take it back out for the wiring, so I feel like taking it all apart. Because sometimes it's just not worth it. Finally. Little pain in my asses. Yeah. All right, so there's that. Now we got right here. All right. So usually with fairly long chassis, you can actually move the battery box up and down as far as your mounting position is concerned. That's up to you. I don't know. I haven't had anybody tell me that there's a better balance one way or another. But essentially, that's what you can do. Just move it up and down a little ways. Right. So let's get everything at least tied up here for a second so nothing's dangling. And then we can go about bolting it all down. There we go. I remember all these screws on this battery tray. I usually replace those with 3 mils. Recountersink the holes and all that good stuff, but this one's not going to get that kind of craziness yet. Right, here's servo mount. Now that is aluminum, so actually, you know what? I think I'm going to leave it alone this time, since that was one of the screws we had to drill. Come on, get in there. All right, so everything on there is there. Now we're going to finish this up, get set up on it. Automate for this anyway. It's like having carpal tunnel. All right, so servo's done. The hell was that? Sounded like an epic failure. So let's try to get that hole in the right spot. Oh, that's a wire. Okay. Yeah, that's not all right. Come on, really? This damn thing. Right. Okay. Well, thanks a lot. Yep. Got it. We're gonna fuck that wire up. Just solder up the servo again. That should get out of the way. Come on. And we're screwing this thing. Type it. No. Not much farther to go now. Working truck before too long. Let me set the damn thing up properly because boy, it drove like a retarded or a monkey with an extra Y chromosome. Last time I drove it. Okay, is that out of the way now? Yes, I can actually see the hole. Go away. Why are you there? All right, now we're good. All right, servo's done. And then it would be radio tray. Okay. Yeah, I even have a shitty chair. All right. That was good. Some of these holes you can use longer screws in. Just always check first. Don't want to make sure you're not hitting anything. Like the side skirts, for instance, I always put long screws with nuts on the front and back just to reinforce that because you know those things aren't these stupid itty bitty little countersinks. You can always pull through and get busted up and shit. Which is why I 3 mil all that. All right, so that's going to be that. Then we're going to move on to, I guess, suspension. Okay, steering linkage. Shocks down bumper. Oh, chassis brace has got to go in next. That's it. So what's this? And these other two are in. It should be that. Come on. All right. Yeah, I guess there's one there. There we go. All right. So let's see. The back one's only going to go on with the underneath bolt because there's nothing else there. Now I know I should use a longer bolt, and I understand this is absolute overkill, but it's the only thing I have in the right approximate size. So that's what I'm using. Nope. No. Right. And then, that's that one. This one. Yeah, you can put the upper bolt on first. I don't recommend it because usually that makes it stuck for me, so it won't hook up to the other one. I don't know why, but this kind of thing. No, come on, get in there. Okay, gotcha. Cool, it's still underneath it. Top of that brace on every car I have, I've drilled out for a bigger screw, 3 mil, because they always tend to bust. I don't know. There we go. So, yep, those 3 mils. Loctite residue, obviously. Come on. There's that. All right, so pretty much got a car at this point. I mean, all that's really left is setup and test drive. But maybe somebody cares. No, nobody cares. So I'm probably just gonna call it. But we've got 90% of it done. Wing mount, rear bumper spring, cross brace, side skirts, plug in all the electronics, test drive it, etc. Done. Put shocks on. So sorry, one person who just showed up. Been on for a while, and I'm done for now, buddy. But have a great night.